And if you're a home buyer right now looking for resale homes in the Houston market, you are definitely not imagining it. A huge chunk of the homes on the market right now are just not worth what the sellers are asking for it. Interest rates continue to climb. Home prices are still very high. Home builders are throwing out incentives and are becoming pretty desperate. And we've got more inventory and fewer buyers than we've had in over a decade. In fact, Redfin said there are 30% more sellers than home buyers right now. The big question is, why the heck aren't home prices dropping? So let's talk about what's actually happening out there in the Houston suburbs. This is honest, this is raw. If you plan on buying in the second half of 2025, this is what you can expect. So issue number one, why aren't prices dropping? The deeper reason for this is that home sellers are not desperate right now. The fact of the matter is that 30 to 40% of Houston homeowners own their home outright, meaning they don't have a mortgage, they don't have a monthly payment. And if their mortgage isn't paid off, there is a huge chunk of homeowners that have an average interest rate of 3 to 4% right now. And they are definitely not in a hurry to give that up to go for a 7% interest rate in a home that is much more expensive than what they purchased their home for. So while many sellers would love to sell right now, they simply are just not going to slash prices to make it happen. And we are seeing price cuts like $5,000 to $10,000 here and there, but they're not like the fire sale that home buyers are hoping for. So is it a buyer's market? Technically, yes, it is. If you're hoping to lowball your way into a great house, just know that most home sellers are not in a financial crisis. And most are perfectly fine waiting for their number or waiting the market out for the right buyer. You'll be waiting a long time, but that's where we're at right now. So if you're just jumping into the market, whether your budget is $400,000 or $800,000, here's what you can typically expect. You're going to see a ton of homes, and most of them will be disappointing. Mechanically neglected, outdated finishes, weird layouts. But then there's a few homes that get listed that have some kind of unique feature, whether it's a pool, outdoor kitchen, large lot, and it's priced at market value, but the difference is it looks 10 times better than 100 other houses priced at the same price. Those homes are still getting multiple offers because the small buyer pool that there is all want the same thing. So buyers are also feeling frustrated that it is supposedly a buyer's market, but anything that is actually worth purchasing at this interest rate and price has multiple offers. Buyer demand is lower, but the demand that there is all concentrated on the same type of home regardless of the budget, and those types of homes are still few and far between. We are still in a strange in-between market. Which brings me to number three, the gap between want and reality in the housing market in 2025. Obviously, right now, home buyers are looking for homes that are updated, and more importantly, they want to pay less than what they're seeing right now. And that's totally fair. There are a good amount of home buyers out there right now that are lowballing just to lowball. They don't want to spend $600,000 on a house that needs $80,000 worth of work. It is completely understandable from the buyer's perspective. But again, the problem is that sellers are not motivated in this market. They're sitting on equity or locked into extremely low interest rates. A majority of them are still just not to that place where they're willing to meet buyers where they're at right now. So nothing moves, and we continue this vicious little cycle. Inventory keeps building, buyers are staying frustrated, and sellers keep waiting for that perfect offer that's probably not coming anytime soon. And then we're stuck in this still flat housing market where everyone wants something a little bit different, but no one is willing to budge. What needs to happen, at least in my opinion, and will it actually happen? The reality is, I am saying that 2025 is probably going to stay about the same for the remainder of the year. I don't see any major shifts coming in seller or builder motivation. I do not see rates dropping sharply this year, and I don't think we're going to see anything that will move the needle in a big way, at least for 2025. The only way I would see it changing in 2025 is if we had a major economic shift, something like major layoffs or some sort of major downturn, because that's when people, particularly sellers and builders, start making decisions that they were not planning to make, and it becomes a little bit more desperate. Otherwise, I think that we are going to continue to see this locked in effect, and the market will just continue to kind of drag along. I do think that builders are not going to be able to continue offering these big incentives forever. Their budgets are definitely not going to stretch for eternity, and their last quarter numbers are definitely starting to reflect that. So I think towards the end of 2025, maybe into 2026, we might see more builder mergers, slowed down development when it comes to new construction. And I actually also think there's going to be a shift in buyer interest, because honestly, a lot of people are starting to feel pretty burnt out about builder homes, especially in Houston. The same homes, the same material, the same style of neighborhood have been pumped into the market nonstop for the last 5 years. People are definitely starting to crave something different. I wouldn't be surprised if in 2025, even into 2026, we start to see a little resurgence in home renovations, people starting to look at existing homes again for that charm and character. But big picture, unless we take a huge economic hit, I don't think anything drastic is going to come this year. Buyers, sellers, and builders all waiting for someone else to flinch. If you found this video helpful and you would like assistance buying or selling in the Houston area, feel free to reach out to me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.